Hi ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to this channel once again. My name is Hafiz and I'm your Power BI trainer. In this video, what we want to go through is we want to look at how do we import an Excel file and a CSV file inside our SQL Server. Once it is inside our SQL Server, we can now use it inside our Power BI. So instead of connecting directly to your Excel file or your CSV file, what do you want to do? You want to connect to your to the SQL Server. And what is the advantage in doing this? The advantage in doing this is that sometimes you want to use a direct query when you have a very large data set. So you are going to be connecting to the SQL Server. So which means you need to first of all import that data into SQL Server because it was not there before. And at other times, you also have very large data sets and you don't really have problem taking it into Power BI, but the problem is that your Power BI is going to be very slow and sometimes you want to do some transformation. So which means that it's going to make the whatever you want to do, the data cleaning transformation, going to be very slow. And when you are loading it from Power Query to Power BI, it is also going to take a long time. So what do you do in that case to save time? You take it into SQL Server, you connect your data, your Power BI into the SQL Server. So in order to be able to do this, you need to install SQL Server. You need to install the client on your PC. So you should install the developer version, because if you install this express version or any other version, they are not free. So I encourage us to install the developer version where you have access to the full features. And once you have installed this SQL Server, you now need to install the Management Studio. The Management Studio is an integrated environment for your SQL Server. So it's basically like a GUI, and that it allows you to write your queries, see your databases, and any other thing like that. So you install these two guys. I've already installed it. You just need to come over here and download. You come over here and download. So you install it. Once you have it installed, I'm going to open my Management Studio now, and I'm going to show us how to do what? How to import our Excel file. So we are going to be starting with Excel file. My file is on my computer already, my Excel file. I'm basically going to come to Master. And once I'm under Master, I'm going to come to Task, and we have Import Data. So we are going to click on Import Data. Once we are on Import Data, we click on Next. We select our data source. Our data source is what? Microsoft Excel. We go to the path on our computer, which is this, my sales data, and I click on Open. And you can leave this as it is. We click on Next. So for some people, you may have an issue here. It might bring out an error of ODBC driver error. If you have that error, if you can't move to this next stage, what you need to do is to install this Access this database engine, because this SQL Server and this Server Management Studio that you have is actually 32-bit. So there might be some conflicts on your PC. In that case, you need to install the Access Database Engine 2016. So once you have it installed, you are good to go. You are good to go. If you have another version on your PC before, you need to first of all uninstall it and install. Now we go back to what we are doing, and we have to select where you want it to go. You know, we have selected our source. Now we want to select our destination. So your destination is going to be, you can either use the SQL Server native client or the provider for SQL Server. So both of these two items work. So you can select any of them. This is the name of my server. I'm going to click on Next, and I copy the data Next. And over here, you can edit it if you want. So in this case, I can just edit this guy and call it sales data. Everything looks good. I click on Next, and we finish, and you can see it's running some processes, and in any moment we have it imported already, and we are good to go. Now I can just click on this guy to refresh, and I'm going to come to my tables. you can see now that we have our data already now. So this is the data. You can test it out. You just click on right click, you can select top 100 rows, and it is going to write some query for us automatically, and we have the top 100 rows already. And if you want to practice SQL Server, SQL, you can also use this to practice and write your own queries, and you get whatever you want. So if I want to just select 2 columns, I can just remove this guy and I'm going to execute. But this is not an SQL tutorial, so let us continue with our work. So I have my sales data already now. So since I have my sales data already, everything looks good. What I need to do next is what? I have my sales data already in my SQL Server now. Now we go into our Power BI desktop and we click on SQL Server to get the data. And in this case now, my server is going to be what? I need to go back to my SQL to know my server name, and which is basically, we can see it over here. This is my server name, and I can also right click and click on properties. So which is this guy. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back to here and I paste it. My database is master. In this case, we can use import or direct query. Direct query is not going to bring the data into Power BI. You are going to have it in the SQL Server. So you can use either. Direct query is always used when you have a very large data set, and it has some advantages and some limitations also. We can also add SQL statements here. So if you want to select some particular columns, or you have a number of rows you want to select, but we will leave that out now. We can click on OK. Once we click on OK now, it takes us to the Power Query interface for us to the navigator, and this is the navigator now. We can see this is all the tables we have in our database. So the one I'm interested in is what? Sales data. I'm going to check it. We can see now we transform the data, and now we are in Power Query. I can do any transformation step I want. Once I'm done with my transformation step, I click on what? Close and apply, and I'm good to go. And that is the case for our Excel file. It is a little bit different if you want to work with CSV file. So you can get the CSV file I want to use to demonstrate from Maven Analytics. This data, it is 28 million rows. So if you want to connect to it directly, it is going to take some time for you to process and for you to load it. So what do you do instead? Download it on your PC. You come to your management studio again. What do? We come to master, we come to task, and we are in import data now. I'm going to click on next. My data source in this case is going to be flat file, not Excel. After we have selected the flat file source, we are now going to navigate to the location of the directory of the file. So we go to desktop now, the data, we click on taxi trips. You won't see it because we have TXT file here, text file. So you need to change this guy to CSV file or all files. Now I have it. I'm going to select 2020 taxi trips. I click on OK. Now it's delimited. Next. Now we have the preview. Next again. Now we want to take it to where again? We want to take it to provider for SQL Server. Next. And we can just leave it as it is. Next. Finish. And we can see it's loading the rows. It's loading the rows now. Once we have our rows loaded, what do we need to do? Everything is good. We are good to go. We can close it now. We can go back to our management studio. This is my management studio. I can refresh this guy. I'm going to come to tables, and we can now see now that we have our taxi trips. What do I need to do next? I can now go to my Power BI desktop now and demonstrate how to import it, which is we just go to SQL Server and we paste we have our server name again, master, and we can use direct query if we choose to, and we click on OK, and we can now see now that we have our data source. So in this case now, I've only demonstrated it for 2020 taxi trips, so I can do it for 2017, 2018, 2019. I'm going to select 4 of them. I take it into my Power Query. I do my transformation and data cleaning, and I take it into my Power BI for data modeling, and everything looks good. We are happy, and that is all about importing CSV file and Excel file. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have learned something, please support my channel and subscribe. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section.